A 2019 survey of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime estimates that a total of 675 billion naira was paid in cash as bribes to Nigerian public officials in 2019. It also estimates that 117 million bribes are paid in Nigeria on a yearly basis, an equivalent of 1.1 bribes per adult. This shocking revelation is perhaps why the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is sensitizing the nation's youths on the dangers associated with corruption.
Youth and women own the future of this country. So that is why you are the most vulnerable. You are the victim of corruption. You are the most affected when it comes to evils in corruption. So that's why I want to appeal to you to please take ownership in the fight against corruption.
From the popular Ademola Adetokunbo Crescent to the Shehu Shagari Way, officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, top government officials and members of the National Youth Service Corps take a walk to speak against corruption. Their message is loud and clear: shun corruption.
Any fight against corruption that does not involve the youth of this country will not succeed. Imagine the youth corpus. They're in every nook and cranny of this country, in local government areas, the wards, states, everywhere, in institutions working. This is the time to enroll them, to engage them as foot soldiers and ambassadors in the fight against corruption.
As mothers of the nation, we join forces in totality to fight against corruption, because this is a duty that we are doing for ourselves now and the future.
And for over 2 hours, the march continues to other parts of the city to draw the attention of youths to the ills associated with corruption. Hopefully, this will go a step further towards winning the federal government's anti-graft war.
Also, in other parts of the country, the state offices of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission also held similar marches. Members of the National Youth Service Corps and some state governors took part in the processions.
Transparency International's 2019 Corruption Perceptions Index ranks Nigeria 146 out of 180 countries, dropping 2 places, having scored 26 out of 100 points, making Nigeria one of the most corrupt countries in West Africa. Perhaps it's why the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is enlisting Nigeria's successor generation across different states to be at the vanguard in the fight against corruption with a 10 million man march. For the southern states of Abia, Anambra and Enugu, the EFCC enlists members of the National Youth Service Corps, joined by some governors who agree that the Nigerian youths must say no to corruption as they march the streets.
We have found out that a lot is happening within the youth in terms of corruption, so we want to use them. They are more in population. They have, the future belongs to them. They have a lot of strength. They have a lot of energy. So if we have to see that we create that awareness.
There was also a march against corruption in Lagos. Similar walks take place in the north-central states of Benue, Kwara and Plateau, where they are unanimous in their position that corruption kills, so it must die first.
The objective of this exercise is to enlist the support of Nigerian youths. You know, it is said that the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow.
The fighting of corruption can only start among us, not just only those from the political parties.
The governor of Kwara State appreciates the efforts of the EFCC.
We appreciate the EFCC. They've given us over 100 million. They've invited us to collect over 200 million. They've made a lot of recoveries. And by their efforts, we're starting the new 2020 budget with an opening balance of over 7 billion naira.
Its Plateau State counterpart appeals to core members to initiate the anti-corruption campaign in secondary schools.
I know that so many of the coppers are also in secondary school. I want to challenge you to set up anti-corruption clubs in all the secondary schools in my state before you leave.
It's also an impressive turnout in Kaduna and Adamawa states, where Governor Maro Fintiri joins in the campaign. The ripple effect of corruption is quite massive, and the federal government insists it has recorded gains in its fight against corruption through high-profile convictions, recoveries, and institutional framework. Now that the youth are joining in, hopefully, more successes should be recorded.